there's an unfortunate reality that if you're going to try and make your career long-term very senior within a big corporate, that you're probably going to have to play these corporate power games and politics that go with being involved with these big organizations. Now, this is not something that I enjoy at all, but if I was going to do this, this is exactly how I would do it. The first thing I would do is identify where the real genuine power centers are within the organization. Now, you can look at an org chart, that's going to give you levels of responsibility, but it doesn't tell you the truth about where the actual decisions get made, who has influence, who has authority, who can actually make things move and change within these companies. You need to know where the real power centers are, who has the ear of the very senior leadership. It doesn't always represent itself on an org chart. The second thing is to actually work out what behaviors are incentivized, what are actually incentivized, not what they say. When it comes to the crunch, to get on the radar of promotion, what are the behaviors that are incentivized to be considered to be part of that power club? And if you start to calibrate your approach toward those incentives, don't leave your all the things that you do well behind, but you just at least bend your communications toward what's actually incentivized, those outcomes. You put yourself in with a fighting chance to make progress within that kind of organization. I hate this, by the way, because it's pretty soulless, but it is the truth. The third thing is I would work out who my advocates are. I would be working out who I can trust, who thinks the same way as me, and start to combine forces to try and advance our careers together and make progress into very senior leadership, hopefully make change. Now, you might want to decide to try and make that change together, but that's a decision to make. Am I going to play within the rules of this organization, or am I going to try and change this organization? Good luck if you try to do that. I've got a lot of respect for it, but good luck trying to get that done. But finding those advocates, finding people you can trust, forming together a bit of a clique of your own and building a bit of a critical mass is very useful. And finally, then I would calibrate my approach to be long-term, devoid of emotion, and to be very disciplined. So if you make the decision that you want to go the distance and you want to go into very senior leadership within this power structure, this sort of political structure, you have to take your emotions out of it, because you're going to be disappointed, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to see a whole bunch of incompetence around you, and you're just going to have to, in some ways, look the other way and to focus on the prize. And the prize is to get to a position where maybe you can then influence change and make change and build the right relationships. But if you are going to go through this sort of Game of Thrones caper, then it is going to come at an emotional cost. So you really need to detach your emotions from it. So find the power centers. They're not always on the org chart. Find out what's actually incentivized, what you need to communicate and represent to get ahead, to find your advocates, find your tribe, find your team, and then finally take the emotion out of it, think long and stay focused on what you're aiming for.